Welcome to the third annual Fashion Pact Challenge. This is a design competition sponsored by the Chicago Department of Aviation, its airline partners and retail stores, and Columbia College.
Once again, O'Hare International Airport played host to the talents of 6 fashion design students from Columbia College, Chicago, testing their creativity in a race against time.
I haven't ever made something in 2 weeks before, so I'm hoping that I can really get through this with a great design.
They've got a very tight timeline, and that's part of the real world, that they have very limited time to execute their designs.
I've never used recycled materials for a garment, so I plan on just really pushing myself to the max and seeing my full potential.
They have an inspiration piece, meaning they're designing within parameters. So they have a clear set of inspiration that they have to use to create their designs.
It's my first competition, so it's all new to me, brand new, and I'm very excited to experience this.
To win the O'Hare Fashion Pact Challenge, the final design must be wearable, appealing to the modern traveler.
They'll be judged based on how they execute their design from a quality standpoint, as well as how they met the requirements of the inspiration piece.
Another requisite for each designer was to use recycled materials provided by our airline partners in the creation of their fashion.
We have donated multiple different types of items to the project here. We donated some flight attendant shirts, skirt, a dress, as well as some scarves.
The blankets I kind of thought made sense too, because I've flown first class before and most people just leave their blankets behind.
Working with recycled materials, I really look to create something that is completely different than what the material's original use was.
It's very important for Spirit Airlines to participate in the Fashion Pact Challenge. At Spirit Airlines, we're very big about giving back to our communities. We soar by serving each other and our guests one journey at a time.
O'Hare retailers also participated in the Fashion Pact Challenge, providing an inspiration item. This final element required each student to tie in their design with the aesthetic of the retail brand. Hoi Polloi and Uncommon Gallery donated a Kent Stetson clutch.
Kent himself is an art school graduate. He graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design, and I believe that his philosophy fits so well with this challenge because art and fashion are so synonymous.
The competition began in earnest after each student selected their inspiration item and then raced to collect all the recycled materials they could carry. With sketches in hand, based on the inspiration items and recycled materials at the ready, the design students went to work at the Columbia College Fashion Design Lab.
I wouldn't really consider my fashion design. The best way to describe it is imagination-driven conceptual art.
Maxwell Bressler chose the Swarovski necklace provided by the duty-free store for his inspiration item.
They really focus on the details, like the fine set crystals behind the swan. So I decided to include fine details in my piece, like rows of stitching for quilting and top stitching.
From the Brighton retail shop, Kaylee Howwisen chose the metal disc bracelet.
It has a lot of rhinestones on it, and then it has like little line engravings, and that's where I got the pleat idea. And then I'm gonna add little white eyelets to kind of recreate the rhinestone look.
Ifra Zaffer found her inspiration in the travel lipstick trio by MAC Cosmetics.
I'm using the color red from their new travel box to inspire my look by creating a red jumpsuit. For my recycled materials, I chose the Cathay Pacific shirt, and I hope to create a jumpsuit using them. I'm trying to put an emphasis on the back of my jumpsuit.
For inspiration, Brooklyn Huerta selected handmade fair trade earrings from the Field Museum.
I'm working on a more tribal look. The earrings are very cultural and they have a lot of pops of color, and I may try to incorporate something from another culture to kind of tie in the Field Museum's mission, which is to kind of appreciate culture from everyone.
When it comes to my design aesthetic, I consider myself more of an artist than a fashion designer.
A polished pebble leather and suede handbag by Coach was Lou Condrat's item of choice.
I think it's going to inspire me to make a sexy businesswoman, ready to go type look. The recycled material I chose was purplish blue seat covers.
Independent designers from the Apparel Industry Board and Fashion Group International volunteered to offer professional advice to the students.
I shared some advice on their design process, making sure that they are including themselves in their design, and to start thinking about who their customer is, who they're designing for.
It's been interesting to see how the designers today have approached their design already. Some you can tell are really comfortable with flat pattern making. Some are more focused with sculpting on the form and playing with different embellishments. I find that both processes are just fine. It's just a matter of the inspiration.
Rounding out the list of our 6 designers is Josh Adamzak. He chose the Kent Stetson clutch from Hoi Polloi, an uncommon gallery.
Its geometric shape and a large amount of color has heavily influenced my design. I knew just with the time constraint that a dress was probably the most feasible for myself with my ability and the 2 weeks, but I wanted it to not just be a simple black dress.
I think it's fabulous. Just what Kent would have wanted, something fun and conversational.
The online voting began as the 6 competing fashions were put on display at O'Hare's Terminal 2 for travelers, airport staff, and retailers to admire. 1 month later, the online votes were tabulated. The students and 4 industry professionals returned for a final round of judging.
Welcome to O'Hare International Airport and to the Chicago Department of Aviation's Fashion Pact Challenge Judging Competition. I'm excited to be co-hosting this event with Yolanda Woodruff, who's the Director of Retail Operations for Unison Retail Management, which is a consultant for the CDA.
The 6 amazing students really knocked it out of the ballpark with their creative fashions. We can't wait to find out who the grand winner is this year.
All 6 student designers were allowed to present their fashion and answer questions from the judges.
Can you specifically describe how this challenge helped to build your design skills?
It took a lot of work, so it took a lot of stepping out of my comfort zone. I've never unstitched a garment completely and restitch it back.
I'm hoping that in the future they've gained the exposure to maybe get some clients out of this, possibly a job at a larger company. One of the best ways to do that is to be in a challenge like this because you get so many perspectives from different people.
If you had more time, would you have changed a few things or added something additional?
Honestly, I can proudly say no. I honestly think I did my best within the time I was given, and I'm just very proud of it.
I enjoyed seeing how quickly they were able to pull these together. They had to sidestep from any kind of anxiety in order to just begin building and making.
Ultimately, the judges were left with the difficult task of choosing one winner.
It was a very difficult feat, simply because all of their work was amazing.
With the judging completed, the winner of the 3rd annual O'Hare Fashion Pact Challenge was Kaylee Howwisen. Inspired by the metal disc bracelet from Brighton, the design featured recycled seat cushions for distinctive pleats and ornamental grommets as embellishments.
I knew it was going to be difficult, and in between I did have a little mess up with my dress that kind of stopped me and kind of made me panic, but it all worked out in the end, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. I think they really appreciated the pleat work, and I think I did a really good job with connecting it to my inspiration item. I think the two go really well together. It feels really amazing to win the Fashion Pact Challenge. I didn't know what to expect at all because everyone's was amazing, and I knew I had a really hard competition, but I'm really happy and excited that I won.